Maria Elena, she wants to
misconceptions about this because they keep talking about illegal aliens. First of all, I don't like to use the word illegal. It is undocumented. Coming into the country without documents, it's not illegal. It's not a crime. Excuse me. It is a. Can I finish, please? It is a misdemeanor. And
it's against the law.
It is
if I steal gum, it's a misdemeanor, but I broke the law.
It is a misdemeanor, just like DUI is a misdemeanor.
That's a former Univision anchor on CNN flat out claiming that sneaking into the country without documents isn't illegal, because that's apparently the level of gaslighting we're at now. If you break federal immigration law, don't worry, liberals will send someone to smile for the camera and call it paperwork trouble. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like establishment media is once again running cover for the left's lawlessness, this time by redefining basic words like illegal. Because when Democrat policies lead to riots, chaos, or violence, the media's job is to memory hole the facts. And we all know how much Democrats and their lackeys in legacy media love to twist themselves into knots to protect their side. I mean, if CNN had its way, looting would be called retail redistribution. Here's conservative podcaster Ben Ferguson hammering back on this absolute nonsense.
There's news in America every single day. There are children that cry when their mom or dad, who's an American citizen that breaks the law, gets arrested and goes to jail. I have watched it, and there's no rioting and looting over that because we understand that we're either a country of laws or we are not a country of laws. Every day we send moms and dads who are American citizens to prison, and we separate them from their families. And you know why we don't feel sorry for them? Because we judge them on the law, and we say if you break the law in America, we put you in jail. So why is it different for illegal immigrants?
And then Maria Elena.
It's a misdemeanor, just like DUI is a misdemeanor, just like indecent
I've been hit by a
exposure
driver who died. Don't tell me that's a misdemeanor when he crashed my family go over 100 miles an hour. I'm sorry. That if you want to say that DUI is somehow a misdemeanor and we should treat it like it's not committing a criminal act. You said it's a misdemeanor like it's the same thing.
It is a misdemeanor, just like coming into the
It's still breaking the law.
But that's not the point. Let me finish. That's not the point. There's a lot of misconceptions, and one of them is that it is a misdemeanor to come into the country illegally. If you get deported and then come back in, then it becomes a crime. But even then, if it becomes a crime, that doesn't mean that you're a rapist and that you're a murderer and that you're a drug dealer.
You know, Ferguson just said what every sane American is thinking. If you enter the country illegally, you broke the law. I mean, what kind of country pretends border violations are just paperwork mix-ups? If someone robs a bank and says they forgot their ID, can they go free too? Democrats and their media buddies want open borders without admitting it. So instead, they just redefine the terms. Undocumented becomes not a crime, and breaking federal law becomes a civil misunderstanding. It's the same trick they've used with riots, gender, and now immigration. But Ferguson wasn't having it. And neither are people who actually believe in laws, borders, and consequences. Here's Scott Jennings challenging another worn-out narrative that both sides are equally extreme.
The left has a problem with violence. It is in its heart right now.
I don't think it is only the left. I mean, you have literally seen people on both sides committing violence. I think that the problem is not the left. I think it is the extremes on both sides of the party. And that is what's happening. Like they're the loudest voices, whether the leaders want them or not. And they're the ones who tend to be the most violent. I don't think that's fair to say it's only the left. I mean,
but why is it happening? Why do late night comedians go on TV and encourage or coddle or give lip service to this vandalism of what went on with Tesla dealerships and so on? Why are there so many prominent people who are like, well, I totally get why Luigi Mangione would murder a guy. Like, why? I don't understand.
Listen, I'm not for vandalism, but like,
it's more than that. They firebomb these things. Like it's obviously
it's dangerous, but it's happening on both sides.
What person on the right is committing violence today?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, when you're in power, you don't tend to be the ones that are doing that. But I think after they lost the election in 2020, there was a mob and a person died, and it was a riot at the Capitol. It was crazy.
It was a terrible day, and it should not have happened.
It was a horrible day, and it's not the only example. Let me just check my calendar, and it was 5.5 years ago. Can we also talk about the fact that someone broke into Nancy Pelosi's house and violently beat up her husband?
You're saying that homeless drug addict is a conservative?
Well, I mean,
I mean, this is the other shell game they play. Pretend the radical left is just the mirror image of the right and poof, no accountability. You know, Jennings nailed it. Every time the left burns a city, they say, well, both sides get angry. As if waving a flag at a school board is the same as setting a police station on fire. It's absurd. This is how establishment media protects its political allies, by blurring the line between protest and destruction, law-abiding citizens and violent radicals. If both sides are bad, then nobody's responsible. That's the goal. And now, like clockwork, they're trying to rewrite what happened in LA this week, just like they did in 2020. Here's a quick montage that should tell you all you need to know about the objective standing of these supposed journalists.
The LA County Police say that they have it under control. Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know. What did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
Video after video has shown that these agents are the ones provoking protesters and also making up, aggression by these protesters that later video shows people were not aggressive.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
The unrest is isolated. LA is home to millions of people, most of whom are having a normal day here on Sunday.
You know, you've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
Governor Newsom's right. There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
We just witnessed a protester thanking a National Guardsman for his service here in California.
LAPD, by most estimates, had this under control last night.
No, I don't think the National Guard is needed now. Things in LA are calm. There was a protest that got a little unruly late at night.
There have been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot anybody, threatened anybody. Nothing has happened.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Most of those demonstrators were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting. People were driving by, honking their horns.
You know, they're trying to memory hole this just like they tried to memory hole 2020, but people remember what really happened. The media stood in front of flaming buildings calling it mostly peaceful. Kamala Harris was literally promoting bail funds for rioters. Pelosi smeared federal agents as stormtroopers. And now the same script is playing out in LA. Riots erupt, chaos spreads, and establishment media jumps into spin mode like it's a fire drill. I mean, let's talk numbers. In 2020, over 2,000 officers were injured. There were $2 billion in damages in just a few months. That's not a protest, that's an insurgency with a PR team. And the excuses never end. Take Carmelo Anthony or the smears against Kyle Rittenhouse. The left always finds a victim if it helps the narrative and a way to spin their violence. Remember when they blamed President Trump for the near fatal attacks on his life? They don't want justice, they want control. And with media cover, they nearly get it. But let me know what you think. Why does establishment media keep making excuses for left-wing violence while smearing conservatives as threats? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!